Have you ever found yourself running into Westside or H&M to buy a t-shirt only to leave with a whole shopping cart full of clothes? How many of us really think of this situation as a problem? What is it about these companies that make us buy, consume, and want more than we need? Let us find out together.
Camera rolling. Action.
So, what makes you go to Starbucks?
I think it's essentially like the coffee and the ambience together. Like whenever I go there, it's either to like chill and hang out with friends. Like I used to go there to study. It started off like that, but now it's like more of a chill day, and it's just like a chill spot. So just go and have fun and have some nice coffee at times. So that's
Starbucks doesn't just sell coffee, it sells an experience. Most of the customers stay hooked to the cafe because they enjoy the ambience, peace, and environment the cafe provides. They create such spaces in all their outlets to make their customers feel more relaxed and comfortable. Apart from this, they also follow some less obvious practices that are not known to the people, like their menus. Have you ever noticed that there ain't any rupee sign on your menu?
I don't really think I've ever noticed that.
The psychology behind it is to refrain the customers from thinking that they are spending a lot of money.
Have the baristas ever spelled your name wrong?
Not really. My name is pretty not understandable, so I have to always spell it every time I see my name. So personally, it hasn't happened with me that often, but it has happened with a few of my friends, and it is annoying.
Starbucks started writing names on cups back in 2012 to create a personal connection with their customers. This is called as the cocktail party effect. Our brain usually focuses on information that is more relevant. For example, our names. Starbucks uses this effect to make you feel special. It makes the customer's order more than just a transaction.
Do you think Starbucks has become more of a status quo rather than just a cafe?
Yeah, I guess till an extent, yes, it has become one of the Instagrammable cafes, and people showing it off at times. I think a few years back it was way too hyped up, and like now the hype has like died a little bit, but like people did go to Starbucks for the name rather than the coffee.
It is generally assumed that higher the price of the product, greater is its quality. The Starbucks effect explains this quite well. There is something called as irrational value assessment, which in simpler words means that if you are given two choices, you'll generally think that the one that is expensive is better. That is the reason why Starbucks coffee is twice as expensive as other cafes like McDonald's. Using such psychology related observations, Starbucks thrives at business, but it is not the only one in the race.
Do you find yourself watching Netflix for long hours too? Well, it's precisely what it wants you to do. The binge watching concept was introduced by Netflix themselves. The features are designed such that it makes the user want to stay and watch. For example, the autoplay feature. It starts a new episode in a few seconds automatically at the end of an ongoing episode to keep you hooked on the content.
So, what did you do in your free time during the pandemic?
I mostly just spend my time watching movies and animes.
A lot of Zoom calls, and I binge watch movies and series.
That's pretty much it.
Where did you watch these movie and anime? Shows?
Any OTT streaming platform like Netflix.
Crunchyroll, Netflix, and other websites like Animix Play.
A recent study on psychology suggests that people are much happier when they're kept engaged in activities rather than being idle. It is called the idleness aversion, a term familiar to companies like Netflix, which use it to keep their users engaged. Have you ever noticed how Netflix shows preview of a movie when you hover over its title? It is because it doesn't want you to be idle.
Do you think Netflix knows what kind of shows you like?
I guess, yeah. If you see my home screen, you can see the recommendations is mostly comedy and crime investigation, which is a genre that I look at mostly.
I think it does because every time they recommend me something, I look at all of the recommendations and I'm really interested in watching all of them.
Netflix changes your feed based on TV shows and movies you have watched earlier. It also changes thumbnails of the content in order to make it appealing to you. We tend to prefer some content over other because we are familiar with that genre. This is called the familiarity bias. Wanna know which other company uses this technique?
Do you frequently order from Zomato?
Yeah, I do.
So, what kind of food do you order?
So basically, I order rice bowls or chaat or fast food like McD, KFC, and all.
Zomato understands the kind of customer you are and changes what you see on the app, just like Netflix. So in the case of Tejas, we saw that he specifically orders rice balls and fast food. And so the app will show that on his feed.
So, do you have Zomato Gold membership?
Yes, I have Zomato Gold membership. So it is beneficial for me as I order from Zomato frequently, and as I am a Zomato Gold member, I get the delivery fast.
Zomato introduced it in 2018. It is based on the psychology of FOMO, fear of missing out. They released roughly 39,000 memberships, out of which the first 10,000 got preference and discount more than the others. Creating limited offer leads to exclusive categories were being generated, which everyone wanted to be a part of. By implementing all of this, Zomato is literally at the top of the food chain. Now,
let's move on to music. People are overwhelmed when they are presented with a lot of choices. Similarly, with over 70 million songs to choose from, it can be a nightmare for the user. This is called the paradox of choice. Spotify tackled this issue by introducing a Discover Weekly page for all its customers where it makes a playlist for them depending on their choice of music.
What do you think of the Discover Weekly feature of Spotify?
I think it's great that every week they look for new music according to my taste and recommend it to me.
Another smart thing that Spotify does is Spotify Wrapped. Similar to what Starbucks did, it also uses the IKEA effect in order to make its customers feel special. At the end of the year, Spotify releases a personalized rewind showcasing the music taste of the user, which adds to the personal touch that Spotify provides.
Every day, thousands of new brands spring up around the world.
customers now have a variety of options to choose from.
With so much competition in the business world, one can easily get lost amidst this buzz.
It is difficult to understand why people choose certain brand over another.
Yet they eventually choose one.
Why does this happen?
The reason we love a certain brand of clothing
Probably has more to do with our brains rather than our bodies.
The giants of this game have understood
That consumers are driven by emotions.
hence they are trying to establish a good brand identity.
much of this is based upon a thorough study of psychology.
Which brings us to the question,
Are you actually choosing the brand?
Or are they making you choose them?